Okay, so the outcome of this chapter obviously is hopefully by the end of this chapter you are able to understand different methods regarding calculating cost of labor. So we have three important methods, like a method relating to inventory, like FIFO, LIFO, AFCO, and also for the calculating labor cost, we have three methods. Either is based on time rate, for example, is paid on hourly rate. For example, your contracted hour 35 hours per week, okay, or is labor hour is paid based on the piece work. For example, is if you are working in manufacturing company, so your contracted piece rate is, for example, every week you are you're contracted to making, for example, 200 product. Okay, so this is based on piece work rate. So your contracted hour based on number of products you're going to make. Okay, and the third one is on bonuses. Okay, based on bonus. For example, bonus is paid depending on your performance, depending on your customer service, for example, depending on your attendance. Okay, so these are the bonus. Sometimes sometimes the bonus is applied to everyone. So in terms of the time rate, piece rate, or bonuses. So most of the question relating to these three areas. Excuse me. Sometimes you have a question. The question involves three of them. The question is related three of them. I seen in the exam or past exam paper, I saw some questions that involve three of them. Okay, so we will go through it one by one, and also I uploaded some questions for you. So also we will go through the question to make it more easy for us. Okay. Yeah. So the overview of the chapter is like a bonus scheme. What is bonus scheme? Based on what condition bonus scheme are payable. Okay? Then time rate. What is the time rate? Time relating to either is your contracted hour based on the number of products are you going to make in a week, or based on the output related, Okay, so labor cost either is bonus, time related, or output related. These three of them. Okay, the labor cost is paid based on one of them. Okay, so let's first of all looking at a bonus scheme. What is the bonus scheme? Okay. So this is the introduction of the chapter. Okay, there are two main methods calculating employees' pay. Is a time-related pay. Okay, so based on time spent at work. For example, your contracted hour a week 35 or 37.5 or 40 hours. Okay, this is related. For example, your basic rate is £10 per hour. Okay, £10 per hour. Okay, so you're working 5 hours per week, so 35 times 10. Output related pay. This is based on the work actually you produce. If you work in manufacturing company, sometimes they paid based on your performance, based on actual produce, okay, based on actual produce. So these two, we will see it very often in our question and in the exam question. And also remember, we have a bonus. So also we have a bonus, okay. Okay. So let's looking at time related or time related pay. Okay, time related pay. Imagine if you are working in for a company, for manufacturing company, so employees usually paid under time related pay. Okay, so they are paid for the hours they spend at work, regardless of the amount of production or output they achieve. Okay, so if you are under a contracted hour, no matter, it does not, the output is not affecting on your contract. The output does not affecting on your contract. What do I mean by output? Output, it means a production, okay, a product that you're going to make, okay. So will not affecting on time rate, okay. So time rate employee can be split into two types, okay, in type. For example, salaried employees have their pay agreed at fixed amount, a fixed amount for a period of time, regardless of the number of the employee work in the period. Okay, so if you are employed and your contract is based on the salaried employees, so it does not matter whether you are working 7 hours a day or 5 hours a day. So it is still fixed. Okay. So salaried staff will form part of an organization, the fixed cost. When we are talking about fixed cost, salaries employees are fixed cost. Salaries employed are fixed cost. So when it says salaried employees, so it does not depending on number of hour or output. Okay. I'm trying to see if there is another students with the joining us. So excuse me, that's why I'm going to be quiet sometimes. Okay, so the second part of time-related employee is hourly rate. Hourly rate. This is purely based on number of hours you spend at workplace. This is based on number of hours purely spent at work. So obviously, these employee will form part of our organization as a variable cost. When we're talking about the variable cost is relating to hourly rate. Okay, so the more time you spend at workplace, the more is the more costing employees. So however salary is employee is fixed, hourly rate is variable cost. So variable cost is going to be changed based on actual work they're going to do, based on actual work they're going to do. This is time related pay. This is time related pay. Okay. So If we're looking, however, in time related, so we need to think about overtime. Okay, so we need to think about overtime. So what is overtime? Overtime is additional hour. It is additional hour that is actually outside of your contract going to spend at work. You're going to spend at work. So this is the overtime. Usually the rate of for the overtime is different compared to basic rate. I am sure all of you are aware of what is overtime. Okay, so usually overtime is paid 1 time 1.5, 1.5. So if your basic rate is £10, so the overtime rate per hour is going to be 1.5. So it means £15. £15. 10 times 1.5 is £15. Okay. So I'm trying to helping in Yan to joining us. She's struggling to joining us. Just give me a few minutes, please. Okay. Sorry. Um, so you know the overtime. So overtime is going to be paid based on addition hours of the week. So say you working 40 hours in that week, so it means you have a 5 hour. You have a 5 hour as a overtime. So you have a 5 hour as a overtime. So it means 5 times the half of the basic rate, half of basic rate. So it means you have a 25 pound as a overtime, 25 pound as a overtime. Okay. So you need to be careful in the exam. You need to be careful in the exam. Says, for example, in the exam it says your contracted hour is obviously 35 hour and you're working for that week, and the basic rate is 10 pound, and any overtime is going to be paid in 1.5. So 40 hour, 10 pound, it means 400 pound, plus you working 5 hour extra, so the extra is paid at you have a 25 for the overtime, so 20 plus 400, it means 425 pound. So it is going to be 425 pound. So your rate for the week, okay? Your wages for the week, okay? So this is the way it is paid. This is into the what I think, okay? Let's look at this question. So if you look at the question, example number 1, employees basic hour in 1 week are 35 hours at rate of 5 pound per hour, at rate of 5 pound per hour. Overtime is paid at time and a half. Time and a half. So it means the overtime is paid actually 7 pound and 50p. 7 pound and 50p. Says the employees actually working 40 hours in the week. So the question asks you, it says calculate the total gross pay for this employee for the week. Okay, for the week. So the requirement is total cost of the overtime. So you have to calculating overtime separately. You have to calculating overtime separately, and also you have to calculating the overtime payment. Overtime payment. So how they calculated obviously. So the way they calculated the way basic pay is 175 pound. The basic pay is 175 pound. Okay, so this is it means so it means 35 hours time 5 pound. 35 hours time 5 pound. Okay. Okay, then what is left? It means this 5 hour as a overtime, 5 hour as a overtime. So it means total overtime cost. The total overtime cost is. Please let me know if you lost me or if you cannot see my screen. Please let me know. So total overtime cost. It means 5 times 7 pound 50. 7 pound 50. Where did we get 7 pound 50? So the basic rate is 5 pound. Okay, and it says the overtime is 1.5. So it means 5 pound times 1.5. Okay, so it means £7.50 times 5, it is equal to 37.5. So it is equal to 37.5. So 37.5 plus £175, it is equal to £200 and 250p. So, do you understand the question? Are you able to understand? So it says your contracted hour £35 per week, 35 hour per week, and they paid £5. However, they paid overtime at time and a half. Time and a half, it means £7 time 1.5. It means £5 time 1.5. It means 7.50p. £7.50. So the basic hour is actually £175, £175, and the total overtime cost is 37.50p. Okay, so the total pay for this week for 40 hour equal 250p. So, do you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So in another way, so there is two ways to calculate it. Obviously, we can calculate just pure contracted hour, which is £35 times £575. Then calculating 5 hour separately, 5 times 7.50, which is 37.50p. So both together equal to £212. So, or there is another way to calculate it. We can say 40 hour, 40 times 5 equal to 200. Then the overtime hour time £2.50. So in the exam, it's mostly and highly likely you will have a second option B. So in the exam, you will have a question similar to option B. So you have to calculate basic rate. So the basic rate is 40 hours times £5 equal to 200. Then the overtime is 5 hours times £2.50 equals £12.50. So the result is same, but in the exam, probably the question is relating to option 2, relating to okay.
Oh yeah, I'm here now.
Hi. Okay.
Hello, thank you
Welcome.
for everything,
So,
Victoria, Emma.
just
It was hard.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. I record it, so I will forward it for you, so you can have a go over it. Okay. So today we're looking at a labor cost. So it is not that much difficult for you. Don't worry. It is quite easy. So we're looking at the example number 1, and the example number 1 is we are going to calculate labor cost for this particular employee, and if this employee is working 40 hours and the contracted hour is 35 hours a week, and any overtime they will pay at time and a half. So the question is for you asking to calculate basic rate and calculating the overtime. Okay, so we have two options. We have two options to calculate. We can calculating the basic hour separately, then the overtime separately. Okay, if we're calculating the basic hour, your contracted hour is 35 and they paid at 5. So 35 times 5 equal 275 pounds, and the overtime you work 5 hours extra because your contract is 35 and you work it 40 hours, so it means there is 5 overtime. So the overtime, it says overtime paid at time and a half, so it means 5 pounds times 1.5 equals 7 pound and 50p. So 7 pound 50p times 5 hours, it is equal to it is equal to 37 and 50p. So the total 250p. Option number two, it says calculate your contracted hours separately and calculating the overtime separately. So for example, you work 40 hours. So 40 at 5 hours equal to, then you have a 5 pound, 5 hours paid at half rate. So half is £2.50. So £2.50 times 5 is £12.50. Okay. So in the exam, most of the question based on option B. So based on option B, you will have a question in the exam. Okay. Let's move to based on output. Labor cost based on output. Hi.
What pages are you on now, please?
It is on page 69.
Thank you.
69 or 74. Okay. Example number 1, then we are on output related pay. So imagine you are employed by a company, and it is a manufacturing company. They producing a product. So the product is more you make, the more money you will receive. So output related pay or piecework is where a fixed amount is paid per unit of output. So the if we looking at example number 2, it says if an employee is paid £2 per unit of production. Okay, so they paid £2 per unit of production. Every unit you're going to produce, you will receive £2. And it produces 100 units in a week. Okay, so the produces a unit in a week is 100. So it the question says, what will be their gross wages? It is very simple. 2 times 100 is 200 pounds. Okay, this is in simple way. Let's make it more complicated. Let's make it more complicated. Okay, so so says if we're looking at example number 3, which is more complicated. Okay, it says a company pays its worker £2 per unit produced. For every unit they produce, they will receiving £2, but guarantees a minimum of £100 a week. So the £100 is going to be your fixed pay. So £100 is going to be your fixed. Okay, and Freight produce 60 units in a week. So £100, no matter how many units you are going to make, you will get £100. So if this particular employees produce 60 units in a week, 60 units in a week, while George produced 40 units in a week. So you have a 2 employees, each of them they're producing a different unit in a week. Okay, and every employee is guaranteed of minimum of £100. Okay, so no matter you're making 10 or 30 or 40, you will receiving £100. Okay, so Freight will be paid 60 units at £2, it means £120. George will be paid 40 units at £2, £80. So instead guaranteed minimum of 100. Okay. Are you with me with this question? Example number 3. I would like read it and think about it. Okay, so let's move to bonus scheme. Let's move to bonus scheme. What is bonus scheme and how it is paid? And how it is paid. Bonus may be paid to employee for a number of reasons. Okay, an individual employees or a department or a division in a company. So entire organization may have performed particularly well. Some of them is more better compared to the others. So probably they are entitled to a bonus payment. Probably they are entitled to a bonus payment. Okay. So if we're looking at example number 4, that relating to a bonus scheme, related to bonus scheme. Okay. Says Roseanne PLC Public Limited Company uses time rate method. They're using time rate method with a bonus to pay. It is direct labor. Also, they pay bonus as a direct labor. The company pay, it is staff £9 per hour. They pay £9 per hour, and they are expected to producing 10 units per hour. 10 units per hour. Okay, any production above this level is paid as a bonus. Any production above 10 units per hour, it will be paid as a bonus of £1.50 per unit. £1.50p per unit. Okay. Okay. One employee, John, has worked 36 hours. Okay. Over the last week, he has produced 375 units in the week. Okay. So we know the basic hourly rate is £9. They're contracted. They're expecting to produce 10 units in per hour. Any additional production is going to be counted as a bonus, and they paid £1.50 per unit. So if John produced 375 units in the week, so how we excuse me, how are we going to calculating basic wages and bonus, okay, for John? So 36 times 9 equal to 324 pound. Bonus, what is the bonus? Is 375 unit. Okay, 375 unit. They're expecting to making 10 units per hour, so it means 36 times 10, 360. So obviously John produced more than 360. He produced 375 units. So 375 units minus 360, it means 15 units as a extra, and it is paid at £1.50 per unit. So 15 units times £1.50 times £1.50 equal £22.50. So the gross wages for the week is £346.50. Okay. Is that clear, this question? It's not that difficult. It is not difficult. Only you need to understand the question. They paid £9 per hour, and they're expecting to making 10 units per hour. Anything outside of the contracted expectation, so they will pay it as a bonus at £1.50 per unit. So John worked 36 hours. So the company expecting 360 units because they expecting, they put a target 10 units in 1 hour, making in 1 hour 360 units. However, John obviously probably experienced employee, or probably performing well, and that's why he make 375 units. So it means 15 units extra. 15 units extra. So 15 times £1.50, £1.50. So it means £22.50. So the total or gross wages for the week, £346.50. Excuse me. Excuse me. Any question? Do you have any question?
Yeah. When you calculate the bonus,
Uh-huh.
375 takeaway, 36 hours times 10, which is 360, isn't it? So equals 15. It should be 15. Oh yeah, 15 units. We calculate the
Yes,
15 units, and then we need to
yeah,
times it £1.50.
that's correct.
I thought we calculate the money. No, it's not
Uh,
unit.
yeah, because what happened, this company, probably it is manufacturing company, says for
Yeah,
example, they making mask, okay? So that's why they paid bonus based on performance of employees. The more you make, the more
yeah,
bonus you will get,
yeah.
okay?
I get it.
Okay, so uh, um, any more question relating to labor cost? Any more question relating to labor cost? It is not that difficult and it is not that much easy, because in the exam the question it would be little bit complicated. So tonight we will doing some a basic question, and for Thursday we will do some more advanced question relating to labor cost. Okay, so um, uh, would it be possible for you going through the question I uploaded to Google Classroom? So there it is for question. Okay, it is for question. So just let me show you.
I couldn't open it. Q2,
Oh,
Q3, nothing's open to me.
uh,
I couldn't do
okay,
it.
okay. So what is it? What is it? Okay, so I will try it. Okay, so if you just request access, then I will allow you to access to the question. But I sent a link to everyone, so yeah. So can you see my screen now? Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
These, okay, these are the questions. You need go back to Google Classroom and click on costing. This is question number 1. Okay, so this is
That one I
question number.
can't open it.
This one, if you click on that link, it's not allow you to open it.
No.
Uh, okay, then I will try something. What about now? If you could try it now again, please.
I can open it now, but I can't see. It's the letters are quite, they are blurred.
Uh,
It's
okay, I will
just
in.
it,
I
it
shall
it's
shall shall
five
I
5.1, isn't it?
yeah shall I email? Yeah, 5.1. Yeah, 5.1.
Yeah, I can
Shall I
open
email
it,
it?
but yeah.
Shall I email? Well done. Well done. Okay. Now uploading another question.
Are we doing something? We have to do something. Are we waiting?
I going through the question because the other student looking at the question, and I also emailed you the question as a separate file if you are unable to access it. Did you manage to open the question? Because the other students, they looking at they questions, solving the question.
I can't.
So we have 4 questions so far relating to labor cost. Question 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're able going through the question and solving the question and submitting your answer, then I will mark it for you.